So it's simple because it's the natural, real way that we should be eating, but it's complicated too because it is labor intensive. And I wish more people did it. And that's part of why Italian bread is so good. And you can tell good bread when you slice it and you look at the holes and they're irregular. Some of them are big, some little. Bread should not look like a sheet of paper. Yes? There's an excellent point. She's mentioning two dishes, both con vongole with clams. And a lot of people come back from Italy and they say, this was so good, I'm going to make it. I talked to the chef and I'm going to make it here. And it doesn't come out. So you think that maybe the chef didn't tell you all the ingredients or how to make it, which even an Italian grandmother won't tell you always every secret. But this is one of the reasons why I think that to really understand Italian cuisine, you must travel in Italy. There are some foods that are so local, they don't even have enough. Even if you promise you'll give them $1,000, they don't have enough to sell to you. They only have it for their very small area because it's very small production. If they tried to kick up the production, it would ruin the quality. And so that's why I think that you must visit Italy to really taste some of these dishes in the place, because canned tomatoes, they're good, but the fresh there, even the basil, even the way that they'll grow some herbs, I taste a huge difference. Silly things, capers, which, by the way, don't buy capers in vinegar. It's like a preserved thing from a high school biology class with salt. So it preserves the flavor. But it's the ingredients, it's the water that they use to even boil it, and then it's the hand, the cook's hand. They know how to play with the fire. They know how to raise the heat, lower the heat. Even the clams, they're special from local waters. Very, very difficult to duplicate. But if you email me, I'll try to ask the chef what his secrets are and see if we can't get it a little closer. Yes?
Can you just explain the difference between gelato and ice cream?
The difference between gelato and ice cream. Gelato is not kept as cold, so that's one big difference. And the other is it's more difference between an egg custard, adding egg and the amount of whipping it. So Italian gelato is not as whipped, it's not as airy, so it's denser. That's why it's so rich tasting. It's not as air filled. And also, if you notice how soft it is when they serve it to you, you have to eat it kind of quickly. The ice cream here, you could get like a tall cone and it doesn't melt. There, it's softer. And I like that idea of lowering your freezer temperature so that if you get good gelato or you make gelato, you lower your own freezer temperature so it's not as cold. There are so many, yes. A cafe granita, and then you could have it with whipped cream on top, panna. That's the coffee granita is wonderful and so simple to make. Good coffee in the freezer, and then you could just fork, break it up. Really lovely. So the question is, what about gluten-free in Italy? There are definitely people who suffer from celiac, who suffer when they eat gluten products. And in Italy, I found, my daughter is celiac, and they're very, very attentive. There are pizza places that will have a certain area, because even the smallest little bit of flour, and so they have gluten-free flours. In Italy, if you prove that you're celiac, and you can get a prescription from your doctor, and in health and like a pharmacy, you will get gluten-free products. So Italy, because of this awareness that it is a medical condition that needs to be taken seriously, it's not a diet fad from a TV star or a movie star. It is an illness. They help to provide these really wholesome gluten-free foods. So you get crackers and pasta that is subsidized, so people can go, and this causes the Italian companies to do research because they know that they will be able to sell this product with the help, as if it's a prescription of medicine, and they produce some of the best gluten-free products. I think there's some wonderful gluten-free pasta where it's a combination of several grains, quinoa, rice, keeps it al dente, breads. So I really like the imported gluten-free, and it isn't so much a craze just for dieting, but an actual for people who have an illness. And you don't see as many of these diet crazes like the paleo diet. Has everybody heard about that here in America? I don't hear that many of those kind of crazes in Italy. I think they know that they really own the Mediterranean diet. Yes. The slow food movement, housed in Piemonte, started in Piedmont, is the idea of the opposite of fast food. Started as just a very simple concept that took off worldwide. And there are restaurants that have signed on as slow food restaurants, that the people that endorse these restaurants go to visit and are very, very careful about it. There are chapters here in the United States. It's now become an international craze because people value the idea that slow food means it will take you a little bit. You need to sit in the restaurant, have a little glass of wine, and relax and wait for your food to be properly prepared and served. Yes? A political aspect to slow food. I don't do politics. My advice on olive oil, what I do is I purchase very, very high quality olive oil, and I look for DOP on the label, and you can go to a good store and you'll see that. And then I never cook that olive oil. I do what I see so many Italian chefs and Italian homemakers and bloggers do. If I'm doing verdura lesse, if I steam my vegetables and I put them out in a platter warm and I put the olive oil, and you put the fresh olive oil on, you'll taste the olive oil. When I do my pasta, I'll put it on at the end. So I use it more raw for very, very good olive oil. Not so much cooking with it.